What always fascinated me about Meghalaya was the sound of music. The people seem to live music in every moment of their life. And of course, the never failing smile that is so hard to resist. You can't help but love the land and its people. As we journeyed along the winding road that led to picturesque Shillong, I seemed to hear the Khasis singing a beautiful welcome song.
The Khasis has got numerous arts of drumming, specified by the forefathers since the days of yore. Here are some of them. The first one is Kasingkot, meaning an inviting beat, calling each and everyone to come to the dancing arena, or we may call it a festival beat. Hey, hey! Now, the power part will come. Meaning, when you do the right thing, shoot from the right spot, the arrow will go straight to what you mean to do.
Megha Alaya, abode of clouds, Meghalaya, is a new state, having been formed out of two districts of Assam in 1970. The state's main population is comprised of the Khasis, the Jaintias, and the Garos.
The third one is the beat. Call it Kasingrong. But the young people in those days were hiking over dales and hills. Here is inviting beat.
The capital city Shillong has seen quieter days. Now, the old and the new rub shoulders in the bustle of Shillong streets. But you can still find tranquility as you pedal away in the lake. The widespread black and yellow taxicabs speak for themselves, and modernity seems to have invaded the capital city. Inside this rather obviously named New Generation Shopping Complex, the needs of the new generation of people are fulfilled, and the building is full of all wares the urban consumer. The faces associated with the seal of government don't smile too much. And one of the few endearing and enduring images of the 10th Lok Sabha has been the jovial face of the speaker. What is the magic you weave to remain the most loved MP from Northeast?
Well, it has been quite a bit of struggle because when I entered politics in the early 70s, the regional parties in the Northeast were at the height of their popularities. And I thought that for the people of Northeast, particularly for the people of Meghalaya, it was necessary to be with the national mainstream. And therefore, I joined the Congress party and tried to tell the people that national party is an answer for us, not the regional party, because Northeast have remained backward. One of the most important reasons was isolation. And if we go on talking about regionalism, we will be further isolated from the rest of the country. One of the drawbacks of the Northeast was that in Delhi, we have not been able to create a lobby to fight for the Northeast. And the Northeast have not been able to produce a leader of some stature who will have a say in the affairs of the country. The last that we had was Devakanta Barua, which was more than 25 years ago. After him, we didn't have any leader. With God's grace, with the support of the people of the Northeast, perhaps today I have achieved something in Delhi, who can have a say something in Delhi. So I intend to create a lobby for the Northeast with all the members of parliament. And from now on, I will not consider myself as a member of parliament from Tura constituency.
No.
I'll consider myself as an MP for the entire Northeast and fight for the Northeast. And my strategy is very simple. Many people say that if we have to bring development in the Northeast, there has to be peace. You see? So development through peace is the concept.
Parallelly, development
I disagree with that concept. For me, peace through development is my concept.
Much before we had an eloquent and peace-loving Garo MP, much before we had our own government, when India was still under the British rule, Shillong had been made the capital of the Khasi Hills after the British fled the incessant rains of Cherrapunji. The rugged Khasi and Jaintia hills had been christened the Scotland of the East. Away from home, their longing for the sport must have resulted in this rambling golf course, which used to be called the Gleneagles of the East. It is easy to see why, under the clear blue skies with wisps of white clouds, we saw people teeing away.
Jangi berkampam di basuan kita isi yani. Ini kita kebiasa. Ini kita kebagaimana. Bagi ini kita kebagi dua di peta cuki. Kalau ini kita insya pangan mak itu berpenuh ina. Kalau ini kita bagi kami untuk berpenuh ina kata tolong beriau jangi. Ini pun kita kuat cuci. Pun kuat cuci. Ada banyak ngan lekran.
Another colonial legacy that is now deeply ingrained is reflected in these exquisite painted glass windows, which depict scenes from the life of the Savior who was born so many thousands of miles away. Listening to the priest's sermon on Sundays is probably an integral part of life now. But Christianity came to Meghalaya only with the arrival of Welsh missionaries in 1841. The Reverend Thomas Jones had learned Khasi and had written the first Khasi language sermons. voices at peace, singing to the Lord under the arches, holding up the high roofs. We shall leave the devout dust and go our way. The Christian missionaries in our country have never been ones to restrict themselves to the tasks of converting and preaching. They have seen the necessity of overall development of the people, and to this end built some of the finest educational institutions in this country. It is largely to their credit that the literacy rate in Meghalaya is above the national average.
The church has got itself involved in a very deep, fundamental way in education in the Northeast. It's enough to go to the farthest villages. You will find a primary school run by the church. We believe that if any people is to develop, education is the first primary need. And that is why our emphasis on education. Many people probably think that our emphasis is on evangelization or conversion of people. It's true that is also there, but we believe it's only a developed people, educated people who can appreciate the benefits that society has to offer them. And so our involvement in education.
St. Anthony's College, Shillong, is a premier educational institution that has done some pioneering work in the field of non-conventional education.
This college in the last 10-12 years has made a decided option to move away from the formal degrees and go for education that is employment oriented. And so we've introduced several application and employment oriented subjects. We started with pisciculture, fisheries, in 1984.
In the state of Meghalaya, fish production is very less. We need almost 17,000 metric ton of fish per year, but unfortunately, the state is producing only 4,000. So we are deficit of almost 13,000 metric ton of fish. So our development, we are mainly aimed at the production of fish seed or increase the production of fish seed in the state of Meghalaya by training the youth and so that they can go for culture.
Then we went on to geology. Then we went on to starting the first undergraduate course in computer science in the Northeast. Then we have gone on to mass communication and video production.
Yes, wonderful.
Biotechnology.
The biotechnology, as a matter of fact, in the undergraduate level, it is the first in the whole country. We have taken some 9 species, you see, of orchids for mass propagation, and of which you see we have done about 4 or 5 species by tissue culture method. We have standardized the media, we have standardized the conditions, various conditions. So these things are doing very well.
Going around the campus, you would have noticed we have a vast collection of orchids here. With the help of Government of India, we are doing several projects in tissue culture for the preservation of these orchids.
You see, sometimes in the 1990, from 1990 we have tried collecting orchids here, and from 1993, formally we have started this project. Initially we have started collecting orchids from different places of Northeast India. Our project includes, you see, not only the vertical conservation of orchids, but at the same time propagation also. There's a kind of orchid called as the lady sleeper. There are 6 species, you see, of lady sleeper we find in this Northeast India, and all 6 species we have collected. And we consider it is a big achievement, you see, within a short period of time, we have collected all the 6. As a matter of fact, if you consider from the point of view of undergraduate level, you see, because it is an undergraduate college, and I think probably it is one of the very few colleges in the whole country at the undergraduate level having a research wing.
And so what we are trying to do basically here is to give the students who pass through this college tools with which they can get employed or start self-employment programs, as well as an atmosphere in which they feel that they need not look to anybody for employment. They can stand on their own feet. Those are some of the philosophies that drive us and the direction that we have taken.
Students here are encouraged to be aware of their environment, to know about nature, and even in their songs, they seem to have found so much affinity with nature.
It can break your heart and turn it upside down. Hear me now. Does he hold your hand? Does he understand? Does he kiss your lips the way I do? Does he praise you the way you wanted to? Does he press your doorbell the way I do? So hear me, darling, hear me now.
Hi, I'm Dari.
Hi, I'm Ronnie.
I'm Randall.
I'm Gavit.
I'm Polly.
We are planning to do sort of get the Western and our own traditional instruments with it, so kind of fusion. So
Western kind of a tune and traditional instruments.
yeah, we're trying to get that. So
But we have to learn traditional instruments, I guess. Start learning
that's the
them.
main part. Yeah.
Does he ask you how your day was? And when things go wrong, was it there standing strong? So hear me, darling, hear me now.
What is the reason behind this strong Western influence in your music?
Do you think of it?
I suppose Christianity has played a role. Yeah, the missionaries and the institutions. And yeah, what? The media, right?
Network as well.
Yeah.
So hear me, darling, hear me now. He can break your heart and turn it upside down. Hear
What
me
kind of songs do you write?
Our songs basically like love songs. When we compose love songs, yeah, he like to go for love song, and
Yeah, we're
we
trying
write
our-
about nature also. Of course, about nature. He's written a song about nature also as
Yeah,
well.
environment.
So it's quite mixed. It's a mixture.
Yeah, we're trying our hands with social points, social, what?
About politics, all this stuff.
Yeah, about politics and politicians, but we haven't as yet given those songs. We haven't as yet publicized those songs, as to say.
It's not yet the time.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, it's good.
Do you think that the Northeast has not got as much attention as it should have got? Do you feel neglected?
Oh, that's one hell of a question.
Yeah, that's one hell of a question to answer. That.
Well, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know. Should we take topography? Should we blame it on topography? And access? But I guess, yeah, we are quite, not to say neglected, but yeah, we are a little behind the scene. But I guess we are catching up with time and, with modernity and everything.
We just got to, depend on ourselves, our dream, believe in our dreams. That's it.
and turn it upside
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, India.
So hear me, darling, hear me now.
The laughter might disguise the alienation the northeastern youngster sometimes feels. But as I left them singing and entered the magical zone of the Misty mountains, my heart still bore the dying strains of the love song, and suddenly to me, it seemed like the group of youngsters were asking the entire country to perhaps pause for a second and hear them.
So hear me, darling, hear me now.
Sometimes, when the air is crisp and clear, when the only sights one sees and the only sounds one hears are of such pristine beauty, then words fail and the senses absorb. Under the darkening skies, with warm, welcoming fires lit, we stop to hear the Khasis do what they do best, pour out their hearts in a never-ending flow of melody.
Even the English writers, when they came here, the first impression they got was the Khasis are good whistlers. With a load behind their back, when they go through the narrow pathways, they whistle. This shows the joy in their heart. When a Khasi is happy, he sings and dances. And when he is sad, he sings mournful songs. So he sings. Among the Khasis, there are different types of skits, different types of tals or ragas. There are social skits, there are religious skits, there are skits used for political deliberations, that means for Khasi polity. There are skits which are used for the youths. When they go on hiking to the hills and the valleys, they play a particular skit, which is called as a skit sing rong. Rong means color. It should be colorful. They should be happy when they are young. Now, when we speak of the skit used for Khasi polity, this particular skit, which we called as kaksing tingko, hopping, this is used in the middle of the night, after the political deliberations are over.
The male voice joined the females and they sang on into the night, sitting under the stars, and the hills were surely alive to the sound of this music.